Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to TLR, the Ludicrous Report, episode 45.
Wow.
45 weeks in. As always, your co-host here, Joey Karni, and the beautiful Issa. How are you doing on this lovely but very hot Tuesday?
Yeah, it's burning up. I was just telling you off the air how I still haven't gotten my AC installed in my new apartment. So it's like 100 degrees inside my apartment. So I'm currently basically dying because I don't want to put a fan directly on me because the sound will come off on the microphone.
Yeah. Been there,
So,
done that. You've had that before.
yeah, so other than that, I'm like dying. But yeah, very, very hot. It's very hot in Puerto Rico overall for this time of the year. And it hasn't slowed down since like, remember I was telling you months ago that we had those heat waves and the heat like notifications. Like it's still the same. We're in September now. Like you think at some point it will slow down. But anyway, shout out to the AC installer who just pushed me back a couple of more days. Thanks for that.
Well, I really don't pay attention to the news anymore. Like I didn't know there was like a bunch of hurricanes and stuff going on.
Yeah.
And apparently there's like more COVID stuff happening again. I have no idea what's going on because the news that I focus on is the news that we do.
Talk about, right?
Yeah.
I because of my weird taste on actually no, this time of the year is peak season for us, so I do pay attention to the weather quite a bit. September is it's just PTSD. Once you live through a couple of hurricanes around the same time of the year, you kind of like wire yourself to like be paying attention. But I will say I pay more attention to the YouTube weather people that I do like actual weather channel. Like there's like I always give him a shout out on my own YouTube, Mr. Weatherman. Like he mentions like the Caribbean island per island. But the thing of it is because I watch him every day, it literally pops up on my recommended every day. So I do watch a weather report. Now my mom, because I'm trying to have a tradition where I spend one day out of the week with her just like having dinner and watching movies, she watches the news. She's the one who told me there's like a second coming or like a new variation of the whole COVID thing because she worries about the wrestling shows that I attend and all that. But that's the only way that I found out about that. The weather, I'm very on top of it just because this time of the year is a nightmare for us. So it's just normal for us to pay more attention.
I have this weird sense that I've had literally since I was a kid. I can smell and I can feel the weather outside. I know when it's going to rain.
I love that you say that.
Sorry if my lighting just changed. My light completely just went off. My selfie
still looks good. Still looks good.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a little. I got pale skin here, so we gotta tone it up a little bit. Like
yeah.
But I can usually smell when it's gonna rain, and there's so many times that like I'll be with my family, and I'm like, "What's the weather for today?" And they're like, "Oh, it's supposed to be sunny and beautiful all day," and I'm like, "No." I can smell it. I can sniff it out. I'm like, I can feel it.
It's like you have ESPN or something.
Yeah, I have this sense of I don't know, like a Spider-Man sense or something. I don't know.
Well, I the other day I was streaming and I like said I think everybody knows what I refer to, but I said it out loud. I was like, oh my god, it smells like fresh rain. It must be raining outside. But it was just funny because I do think that when it starts raining, there's a very particular smell, especially like in Florida, Puerto Rico, like the warmer climates. You actually smell there's a fresh rain smell. I know what I'm talking about. And I said it the other day and I'm like, I probably sounded super stupid to some people, but I think some people get it. You really can smell when it starts raining. Like it's odd. It's the same. I had a whole debate about water bottles too, completely off topic, but how they taste different. Smelling the weather is the same thing. I'm like, people say water all tastes the same. No, it doesn't. I'm a water snob. And I tell everybody that. Like the sun is the worst. Like if you give me a Dasani,
Zephyr Hills, I hate.
Oh yeah, if you give me a Dasani, it's like you're cursing out my mom. You know what I mean? Like,
what's your favorite?
Fiji.
Fiji. Okay, I like Fiji. I also like Poland Spring, just because.
Oh, Poland Spring was my New York water. Here it's a little more difficult to find. Walmart has it. Okay, I hate to sound snobby, but if I had to go, because Poland Spring is considered basic water, like it's not like so. Like out of the cheaper bottles waters, they're my favorite. But like Evian will be if there's no Fiji, I will settle for Evian. Third, Smart Water. But yeah, I think there's a very definitive different taste in water bottles, and people like that try to tell you there isn't. No, you're just tell me you want to save money. That's okay. Sometimes you can. Sometimes I can afford the 6-pack of Fiji, so I get the 6-pack of Poland Spring. I get it, I did find a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walgreens have like these big Fiji bottles, but they're the ones that like pop open differently.
Yeah.
It's only $1.99. If you buy
Wow.
a 6 pack of regulars, they're like $10. So I
Yeah.
use the actual cold ones and grab like a bunch of those, and I found the glitch. They're gonna catch me and they're gonna up the price eventually. That's what always happens.
I've seen videos on YouTube before where people are sitting like with their eyes covered and they're testing different water.
Yeah.
And they can taste the difference. There is a difference, and there's different chemical levels and different water.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called The Food Theory. They have all kinds of theory channels, at the film theory, the fashion theory, and they just did the water bottle taste. And it turned out, I was like, oh, I'm very proud of my tasting water, because Fiji and Avian were like the ones that are made different, the ones that really come from the springs. They don't go through all these chemicals, they don't go through all that. And that's why they cost more, because they really come from when they're telling you they come to. Poland Springs, they come from anywhere. They just filter it and make it better. But I do think that Poland Springs tastes a lot better than like an Aquafina or a Dasani.
Yeah. Well, there's so many topics that we have to discuss today. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of big things happening in the world. We have Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis in
That's
the
a
news.
mess. That whole thing. I fell down that rabbit hole. That shit was crazy.
Crazy stuff. Ethan Hawke is in the news.
I love that news. That's my favorite one this week.
So many NSYNC. There's NSYNC news. Patrick Mahomes, all the NFL stuff. Yes, Lego, tonight is the VMAs. 25 minutes away from. I would say a little further. 35 minutes away from me. The VMAs.
Where are they doing at Barclays again?
No, it's in Newark.
Yo, they're going back to Prudential.
Yeah, they've been doing it the last.
They've been doing Prudential years. For a while. Like it's cheap. I get it. I hate Prudential.
I hate that stadium.
Me too. Me too. Arena. Especially like if you go to an event where you get out late. Like I'm sorry, that Penn Station after dark is the scariest. I would rather pay for the Uber. Like I hate Newark Penn Station after a certain time, and a lot of people commute from New York.
Yep.
And they gotta go through Penn Station to take that pad back, and then after midnight, the pad runs every like half hour, 45 minutes. So if you don't get out at the right time, you're gonna be waiting at this super scary train station forever. Listen, New Yorkers know the struggle.
No, yes, 100%. And of course we have like the biggest news, at least for us, like the big WWE, UFC, TKO stuff happening today. I made a video earlier, and I got
great video.
Thank you. We gotta make it a thing somehow. I said TKO, and I did the LA Night thing. I was like TKO, and we got to make it stick somehow. I don't know how we have to do it, but I know you're not a fan of LA Night, but
I didn't say I'm not a fan. I'm just saying I'm not saying I'm a fan either. I'm saying I'm in the process with him. You know,
it's growing on you.
I'm not an easy. You don't win me over just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we all can't be Roman Reigns, you know. But Lisa, out of all the news going around today, I think the biggest news, and I kept this from you. I don't know if you knew, but I kept it from you specifically for this show.
Okay.
Did my research, and it turns out September 13th, 2022 was a huge day. So tomorrow is another big day, and it is the 1-year anniversary since we started this show.
Oh my God. I was like, when you said episode 45 in my brain, I started trying to think there's a few weeks that we have called off. So I was like, oh my God, I think our year has to be coming up, because just counting the weeks that we missed, it was the math was mathing in my head, you know. Happy anniversary, Joey.
Happy anniversary. Tomorrow, 1 year of doing this show. 1 year of our friendship. Think about that.
I can't believe that, because I feel like you and I clicked since show one. But like so much has happened. Like I remember meeting you at Full Gear. We got our picture, but that was such a quick meeting. And then like I just like what people don't realize is like when we go off the air, we stay on StreamYard for like an hour just talking. Like it's our weekly. You know what we need to start doing is just pouring ourselves a cup of coffee after we get done with the show and have the after show. But like it's being amazing. I really love this show. I love disconnecting from wrestling because so much of my other content is so wrestling focused, and I know we always swerve back into it because it's what we do, but I really look forward to talking about other things that are going on in the news. And I'm a huge pop culture like geek, and people don't get to know that because they know my wrestling side. So not only do I look forward to that, but it's I'm very hard. I just said it. I'm very hard to win over, and for it to create a friendship, like I truly consider you
Yeah.
top 3 right now in my circle, right? Like I don't talk to
Yeah.
people, I don't talk to anybody,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing that it was just a random pairing. Like people don't understand that Jimmy Van put us together before we even like we probably knew of each other because of the content that we were making. We're in the same
Exactly.
circle, but we never even spoken. And to go from that a year ago to like now best friends doing vlogs together, like talking about traveling together and doing
Yeah.
all these things, it's been a blessing doing this. So happy anniversary, Joey and TLR.
Yes. I watched the first episode before our show.
Yeah.
Just to see what we were doing. And I don't know if you remember, but it was about Anna Kendrick getting stuck on the elevator with
Yes.
fans. And I could not believe that being our first episode, really our first interaction. Off the bat, we had chemistry. Like we were off to the races. The episode 1, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, nothing is. We are the same.
Yeah, because it's funny because like if I go back and watch, I don't even like to. I think I only watched my first YouTube video once, and it was during my 10,000 celebration. Like I went back and watched it on my stream, and I was like, God, I was so awkward. I didn't know what I was talking about. There's one that you can clearly see me reading my script, but for this, it's always being smooth. It's always being smooth. I love that reference to my space.
I love this comment.
You will definitely be ahead of Tom. I always took Tom off my top 8. It was so geeky to keep him there.
Yeah. Did you have how many did you have? You had MySpace, obviously.
Yeah.
How many top friends did you put?
8.
8? I think that was the right. Could you have 8 or was it 12?
You could put up to 16 at one point. Once it started dying, you could put up to 16. But man, I miss it. I wish we still had that because the drama that would come off when somebody took somebody off their top 8, like, I would live for that.
Yeah.
And we were all coding experts just to have our custom background.
Yeah. How crazy is that? We learned the code. Like seriously, you have to go copy the code and put it in the settings on MySpace.
I know, but we know how to code, But no, we were just copying and pasting. Like it will give you the directions on how to do it. Like if you weren't there for the MySpace era, you missed out. And like what I love is like it's such a pop culture thing because like you will change your song. Like for example, I will be changing my song. If I still have MySpace today, I will be changing my song like every day because every day I'm in a different mood. Like even earlier somebody said like, what are you talking about? I'm like, bro, my Instagram captions are always like, okay, 95% of the time it's a lyric of whatever I'm listening to as I'm posting it because I'm not that creative. So I'm like, what am I listening to? Let me grab a line. So I'm like, that would be my MySpace right now. I'll be changing it to whatever. Today's MySpace song would have been Drake's Wants and Needs.
Well, I don't know if you saw, you can add music now to your Instagram posts. Like if
it's not the same. Yeah, I do
not
it.
The same, but
that's why I don't understand why people still question me because I post my post on my story and I use the music only feature and the song playing is the song that the caption is from. But people never pick it up. People are like, oh, who you're sending this? One of my best friends asked me, they're like, what's with this like secretive language in your post? And I'm like, bro, it's a Bad Bunny lyric. Like it's not that deep.
Did you ever do that with MySpace? Because I remember even I did it. My friends and I, everyone, like if someone was fighting with each other, the status would change and the song would change. And if you like somebody, you didn't want to tell them.
And that's what memes were starting, but like you would post it, but you were trying to be secretive about who you were mad at. Like,
now I'm like, I hate that nonsense. Get to the point.
I don't know, man. I think I will still be a fan of the top 8 friends, and I will still be a fan of having a song that you can change like every day. I miss it.
The problem with having the top 8 friends is that I wouldn't have 8 to pick.
Well, I will put fake friends. Like I will have Roman Reigns. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because they had like the public profiles. I always laughed at that too, but now I'm like, I would do it. Like people will put like these public profiles because you have to remember Tila Tequila, Jeffree Star. There's so many names that we know today that became mainstream because of MySpace. Like people think Jeffree Star and they think like problematic YouTuber and makeup mogul, and people don't realize that he had a huge music career thanks to MySpace. And Tila Tequila, as controversial as she is today, I think she's the OG person of creating an OnlyFans because she had a website where you would pay, but she was responding to people. She was talking to people. And like, that's what made her so popular is that she would interact with her fan base. And people were like, well, girls like you don't talk to us, And like, she became so beloved because of that. And I shout out Tila Tequila where she I mean, if you go down the rabbit hole, she trying to say that she
was
wasn't
everything and then
bisexual.
some at the time.
Right, but the fact that they had a show, let's find a love connection for somebody bisexual at that time, it wasn't normal. Like those,
It
you
wasn't.
wouldn't see those things on TV, and she was like breaking a barrier of it's okay to be an openly sexual person, and people
Yeah.
can judge you for that. Like, and all of this came from MySpace. Like, I love talking about that kind of stuff because I like MySpace. The other day I was trying to access mine because it's probably still
tried
floating
so many
around.
times.
I can't remember it, but I can't find it either. So I wonder
No.
if they like waved them out after, you know what I mean, after so many years.
You know what makes me think about, like, what about in the next 15, 20 years? That's what like happens to like Twitter.
Yeah,
or
nostalgia.
Instagram,
It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. I keep waiting for
where we
the
can't get
MySpace
into our
comeback.
accounts and all this stuff because it's so TikTok even too, like crazy.
I don't know. I think that the social media today is not gonna die as easily as that did. I mean, a lot of the MySpace downfall has to do with the sale and people having a different vision for it. Look at Vine. Vine could have been so huge. Yeah, but the music industry changed in the way that they stopped making CDs and started making it streamable, and that kills that because I love paying one flat rate and getting access to pretty much 90% of the songs that I want to listen to. It's very rare for me to look up something that Apple Music doesn't have for me. I feel like the music industry changed, but with like a company like Vine, Twitter bought it and they never did anything with that. That's what TikTok is. It's just TikTok is longer. I love Vine. And if you think about it, we're just talking about MySpace, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. There's so many big time YouTubers today that came from Vine. And I think that Vine would have. Oh, I love Vine. Oh my God, I had it. I made so many stupid skits on there. But if Twitter would have continued the vision, TikTok would have never been a thing because that's what Vine was, the original Vine. I like Vine because I have ADHD. 6 seconds is a lot better than. That's why I try to post my TikToks less than a minute. I know you gave me some tips, but I'm like, you know what? You can't keep my attention for longer than that. So Vine was perfect. 6-second loop. It was beautiful. I still think and quote some Vines from back in the day.
There are some that I did too, and I didn't even know they came from Vine. They're just videos that I've seen that kind of transitioned over to YouTube and different things like that. And I'm like, people are like, "Oh, that came from Vine." I'm like, really?
Oh my God, so many things came from Vine, and there's so many that I remember vividly that I can't find anywhere. That I laugh at very stupid things. Though, like my sense of humor is off, but there's so many Vines that I just like would laugh hysterically that I would love to find right now, and I can't.
You can tell my sense of humor by the TV shows that I love watching The Office. I laugh my ass off.
Never watched an episode.
Oh my God, it's stupid funny. It's stupid funny. I love that kind of humor. There's different kinds of humor where it's like the stupid humor, and then you have like the dark humor also.
See, I guess mine, if we're gonna base it on that, because I don't watch a lot of normal scripted TV shows.
Yeah.
But my favorite movies, like The Hangover, I can quote the whole thing. Dude, Where's My Car? Anchorman, like Talladega Nights. Like when you see it, Wedding Crashers, Wedding Crashers, I love. Like, so when I tell you the movies that I do love, then you probably understand why there's so many silly things I just.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Oh man. Oh wait.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
No? I'm here.
Oh wait. Okay, talk now.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can't hear you. Sorry, my mic. Yeah, my mic did something weird.
Let me get my my computer charger because I don't know why it's not plugged in, but it should be here.
We are so prepared today.
I know.
Super professional. Diva Tequila has made the news, Joseph, over in the chat, but not for the reasons you want to see. Don't fall down that rabbit hole because that woman has truly gone crazy and lost all of her marbles. Oh yeah. She's been doing a lot of like I don't know if you were allowed to say the word, but she's like been doing a lot of like Nazi support things. Like she's like completely lost it. And it's like it's super sad. She started posting like a bunch of religious things and all that, and like it's she's had her YouTube channel banned like 5 times, and she keeps making one, and they keep banning her. Like that's how bad she's gotten with the things and the statements that she was making publicly on her platforms. Yeah.
Well, people who on the topic of people who are doing things that people are not fans of, let's talk about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. What is going on?
Oh my
have you
God!
Have you kept up with what was happening originally with them? So, I saw that Danny Masterson got like 30 years in jail.
30 years in prison for allegedly SAing two victims. It was over
Yep.
30 years ago, and the justice was finally served. And that's how the whole thing started, right? So I
Yeah.
saw that news come across my timeline, and I was like, oh my God, like, holy crap, because I hadn't seen anything. And it's weird because I follow a lot of pop culture pages and news
Yep.
because of what we do here. I would think that would hit my timeline sooner.
Yeah.
So we would have probably covered it last week, but I had no clue. So then a lot of people were not fans of the fact that not allegedly, these letters are out there. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote support letters for him for the judge to see, to kind of like give him a lower sentence. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher goes on to call him a role model in his, and then like Mila Kunis talks about his character, and then
Yeah.
like the one thing that really drives me crazy is like they had to come out, and that's why I'm sure you're getting out with the article. They had to come out and make a statement, which is a terrible statement, and they look like they look like they've been held hostage making this
Yeah.
statement. It's a weird statement, but at one point they're just trying to say, well, nobody was supposed to see these letters, they were for the judge. It doesn't change the fact that
Yeah.
you sent letters, and I guess his family asked them, like it wasn't him, it was like
Yeah.
his mom and dad and all that. But it's brought up a lot of debate online about like, well, what do you do if somebody that you love and you care about
That's what I was going to
does
ask you.
something really bad? And I think that's the bigger conversation to be had here.
Yes. Because, like, for example, they know each other, especially Mila and Ashton. Knowing him, Mila was 14 years old on that 70s show. They've known each other basically their whole lives.
Yeah, I
And
thought it
even
was
the shows
romantic
that
when
he
they
did,
ended up back together. Now I think it's a little creepy. Now it tastes a little creepy,
Yeah.
but I thought it was romantic that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher ended up together after like he was literally her first kiss. But not
Yeah.
to add to the tea, Joey, but there's like a bunch of threads going around on Twitter of interviews that she did back when she was this young, and how creepy some of these dudes were towards her,
I can only
Ashton
imagine.
Kutcher included. Like people need to understand that media back then, people were getting away with so many things that they could never get away today. And the way that these people talk, like Ashton Kutcher just openly talking how him and this Danny character had a $10 bet that on the first kiss scene that he would shoot with Mila, she was 14 at the time, he was 19, he would tongue her. They had a $10 bet on that. She was 14 years old. But anyways, I don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot stick, because that's a whole different thing. Because like people are acting and people are gonna, that's another conversation, right? But the conversation here is what I was telling you. It's like, what do you do if it's
What do
somebody
you
that you
do?
love, but what they did isn't right? What do you do?
I don't think you can ever decide what you would do unless you're in the situation.
Correct.
Like, if it was a family member, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. You know what I mean? If it was like a close friend like that, like, I feel like if depending on what had happened, if it's something that you're able to come back from, I don't consider this, what he did, something you can come back from.
Right. The problem is that people are like trying to excuse him somehow because it was 30 years ago. It doesn't change the fact that it happened. Like,
I've seen this a lot too, though, with a lot of other situations where comparing the times where a lot of that stuff was normalized back then, and it wasn't like a topic brought to light like it is today. So back then, people may have not cared at all or as much as they do today. So the society's changed, society's values and morals, I think, have changed.
Yeah.
Where back then, that may have been like what you said, they were taking bets and different things like that. Like, I remember seeing that stuff in movies growing up.
Well, there's a video clip of Ashton Kutcher that's making the rounds, and I don't know if he's made it to your timeline yet, but he's making the rounds because he was about to punk Hillary Duff. And he's like, oh, she's also the girl that we're all waiting for her to turn 18. And it's like such an inappropriate comment today. But back then, sadly to say it was normal to joke that way. It was so normal.
Yeah.
Like, look at those interviews with there's interviews of Britney at 17 years old being asked if she's still a virgin, being asked if her boobs are real. Like, it's insane the things that people got away with. And like, I am not like huge on woke culture. Like, I am not, because I do think that there's a level between being too sensitive, and I think that there's a little bit of that today where you can't say anything and somebody will get offended. Like, I think that's extra, but I do think there's certain things that needed to change that people should have not been able to get away with. And like, that is one of those things that I think I'm glad that they changed in the media, that people just don't slut shame women, which is like a lot of time. I'll give you another example that is currently happening in pop culture. As interesting as it's making this Logan Paul and Dylan fight, I hate that he's choosing to just completely slut shame his fiance to get the heat on this fight. Like that, like
he's
what
using her as a prop.
Right, what the man that she dated, the people that she was with before, like maybe one or two jokes here or there are okay, but the way that he's just constantly going and using that to play the psychology game that you play in combat sports to get to Logan Paul, like, and she sued him. I don't even. That's actually something we could have also covered today. There's so many news. She ended up suing him for revenge porn, which a lot of people have been found guilty. This whole event could be put off, and I personally think that him using her and slut shaming her to get heat on the fight is so untasteful, because what is it to you what she did before Logan Paul? If you're old enough and it's consensual, it's nobody's effing business, and nobody should be asking women about it, and not men. That's the thing. If men do it, they're a big player. You know, like, it's such a double standard. It's shameful.
You know what sucks too is that, you know, if they do end up staying together and later down the road they have a family, and they go to show their kids, like, oh, this is what dad did, you know, his fights and whatnot. This is what they're going to see on social media. They're going to see their mom dragged through the mud just like this. All the news that all the videos and pictures, like, if it's on the internet, it never goes away, you know? And
I talk about
the case. A joke here and there, like you said, okay, hit the belt fight, you know, but making the entire thing about her,
that,
where she hasn't said anything or until now suing, it's nonsense.
It's just in poor taste, in my opinion. Like I said, you could have gotten one hit and two would have been funny. Like, yeah, she dated Leo. Like, it seems like she's downgrading with Logan Paul after you date Leo DiCaprio. You know, like, there's a couple of haha that's funny. But like, he's putting out things that are private, that she privately sent to people, and people are sending them to him. Like, it's crazy. And I don't know how we ended up here, but that it just goes back to tell you what people got away with then that you can't get away with now. This woman went to the courtroom, put a lawsuit, and he could be in big trouble. There have been a lot of cases of revenge porn, or people putting that out there that is like completely, like, you can get sued for it. You know what I mean? And it's like, even I have an additional platform that does provide adult content, and there is a statement in there that you can't leak that. Even if the person is putting it out there, you still can't just go and leak it because you're paying for it. You know what I mean? There's like a whole protection of the service. But the whole point is, the way that they interview and the way that they were doing Mila Kunis at 14 is creepy, and that's a whole different thing that we can talk on a different show. But to reel it back into where we started, it's like, I feel like they were damned if you do and damned if you don't, because this is a person that they consider a friend. It was a family member. And don't tell me that you don't have, like, I'll give you an example, an ex that you don't talk to, but you adore their family, because we all been there. I still talk to one of my exes, like sisters and mom and all that. Like, they're and those people coming to you, a lot of times it's very hard to say no. But this is a whole different case. If this happened to you and me, this is not going to go viral if you write a character letter for me or if I write one for you. The judge will probably be the only person that sees it, and that ends everything. When you're a public figure, you have to understand, and the parents have to understand. And it's just like, I don't think the letter even made a difference. So they got themselves into this big hole for nothing. He's still going to get 30 years.
Yeah.
And now they're having to put out fires. And also, I found out that Mila Kunis doesn't shower every day. It's for real. Like, I don't know how that ended up happening.
Clip it, Rob. Clip it.
When I was researching this, I found that out. I'm like, that's disgusting. So now I'm looking at this statement that they put out, and I'm like, how long has it been since you showered? I don't know.
Maybe that's why they looked the way they did in that statement video. We are so sorry. We don't know. I've always been fans of Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. I love their work. And what's surprising to me is that Ashton Kutcher does a lot of work outside of acting, human trafficking, stuff with children in I think it's human sex trafficking, and he does something with kids. I'm not sure what exactly it is.
Yeah,
Which kind of goes along the lines of everything that we're talking about here. We're like,
well, yeah, he's put a lot of money and a lot of things towards like stopping human trafficking.
Yeah.
The name of his organization is Touring. He's done it for a long period of time. I saw a YouTuber that I love, Kendall Ray. She always does content and like donates to his to his cause, and now she's like trying to disconnect herself from it, and I'm like, hold up, like no, the cause is good, it has helped, it's done all of these things, like it's just crazy, this whole cancellation, blah blah blah. And who leaked this? Because like if you can even trust it, like let's not even go there. Like if you go to, I guess they're public records,
no, I mean that would be considered evidence, right? If you're giving,
but if the case closes, doesn't that become public records? Because like recently there was also like this YouTuber.
Any
like,
lawyers in the chat?
I don't know if you saw this, but there was this YouTuber who like reached out for a case, and they ended up sending her their entire case file, and then on her Patreon she put like autopsy pictures of the victim. The victim was a kid.
Wow.
And like she ended up like pretty much getting canceled for that because she was charging people to see it. She put like the entire records, but that was part of it, right? So people like went at her for pulling out like all these things, and I'm like, why are people just giving all of these things to a YouTuber or to TMC? Like aren't these things supposed to be a little more protective? But it is public records. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. The whole point is I don't really have an opinion on it because I've never been put in that situation. But if I do something that I should have not done, it will definitely be somebody in my family asking my friends to send a character letter, because I'm a grown woman and I know that what I'm doing is not right. And if I got caught and I got to pay the consequences, pay the consequences. I don't need to involve people that I care about in my own F-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This, it kind of, the question I have in my mind now is the underlining factor here, and I want to hear your opinion, and we'll wrap it up and go to the next topic after. Is this a case of celebrities abusing their power or their influence?
Probably, but I will hope
because it wasn't supposed to be public. Remember,
right?
It wasn't supposed to be public. So, are they going behind closed doors to say like,
"No,
trust us, bro"?
I think every case has the opportunity for people to speak for the victims or for the person being accused. Like that's just how it is in every case. But I will say that you hope that the jury and the judge and everybody's unbiased people, and it doesn't matter who wrote that letter. You're looking at the facts and the evidence, and not like fangirling and going, "Oh my God, Ashton Kutcher said I should trust this guy, so why?" You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's like your influence shouldn't matter in the eyes of the law.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who sent this letter. If he did what he's being accused of, it doesn't matter how good of a person you say he is. We know better based on this evidence, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens.
Why is Baby Eyes confessing to crimes on the chat? Baby Eyes, please don't get us in trouble with that. I'm not writing a character letter for you, okay?
No. I'm not even looking.
You had to send a super chat if you want that character letter.
But let's jump over to the next topic that we have here. Ethan Hawke.
Oh my God, I love this. I love this so much.
Ethan Hawke took a Greyhound bus to a Toronto movie premiere. He said he's not going to miss it. He's not going to miss the premiere. Did you read through this article? Did you see what was going on? And like,
yeah, he had to take the bus to Toronto because all the flights got canceled. I guess it was due to some weather or something. But so he went to Port Authority and he hopped on a Greyhound bus. Like for the people that don't know, the movie premiere, it stars his daughter. And he wanted to be there for his daughter's big moment. So this dude got on a Greyhound bus just to go to Toronto to be there for the movie premiere, where his daughter is like the star of the movie. And when she was talking, she was being interviewed. You can see him in the background just smiling big because you can tell how much the gesture meant to her. Yeah. Like it's just like we always talk about. We have a lot. Like we just talked about something so heavy. It's always good to see something wholesome. That's why I sent it to you, because I thought it was a wholesome little cute thing that we could talk about quickly.
Yeah, I know. I loved it. I read the article right before we went live, and it was one of those things where it's like, this guy is such a huge name in Hollywood. He's so well respected, and to see the human side of him and doing real good stuff, especially for his daughter, I loved it.
Bless his heart, and that is cool. I went. There was a hurricane in the States, and I'll never forget. I took a bus to make it down to Virginia so that we could go to my nephew's wedding.
Yeah.
I took a bus, but bus traveling is not as bad as it used to be. I think people like it has such a bad stigma.
Yeah.
But it's not horrible. Like I couldn't do it for a bus ride longer than a certain amount of time. Like I think 5 hours is my top for a bus like ride.
I don't know. I traveled in an RV in 2020 from Florida to California and back. And yeah.
That's too much. See, that's what I mean. 5 hours I'll do. Like from Port Authority, New York to where my sister lived in Richmond, Virginia, it ended up being a 5 hour overnight. So everybody was quiet. Like it wasn't that bad of a bus ride. I didn't mind it. And I did one from New York to Rhode Island to Providence. That wasn't bad either. But that is it's a short bus ride. Like
Issa, I've driven to Florida and back from New York like 10 times in my life, maybe more. It's like a 24-hour drive. 25-hour drive.
Yeah, I did New York to Atlanta. That was like 8 to 10 hours. I think it took me. That I hated that so much.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks, especially when you're traveling with animals.
Yeah. Try traveling with an animal that won't go potty outside, because that was Roman's issue. So I had to stop and put a freaking paper pad on the ground because he would not go in the grass.
Yeah, no, that I wouldn't be able to do. But let's jump over to this next topic. I don't know if I had sent it to you before, if you saw it, the Patrick Mahomes stuff. I thought, honestly, it was kind of funny. Not the fact that Aaron Rodgers got injured. It's the fact that Patrick Mahomes wrote a tweet in regards to the injury, and he came off looking like a jerk because of one punctuation error.
Grammar is everything, and also grammar is sexy.
Yeah. The articles here says Patrick Mahomes, I don't hate Aaron Rodgers, ... clarifies post after a QB's injury. So the original post said, hate that man, ... praying for the best.
Oh, because it should have been hate that man, or it should have been man, hate that, or hate that for the guy. Like, yeah, that was worded horribly. That is a case of when you tweet exactly what you're thinking, and it doesn't read. I'm sorry, I know that sounds stupid, but it doesn't read the way you mean it. Like sometimes when I say, and you know, because we talk all the time, I'm a big fan of the voice notes, because sometimes I'm like, if I type it, it's not gonna come off the way that I mean it. Like, and that is a case of you should have thought about it before you sent it. I feel like he just typed how he was thinking it, and it came off very wrong.
Yeah, he clarified it after. He fixed the tweet and he wrote, hate that, comma, man, ... praying for the best. But even
do
you
think he'll pay for that?
It should have been like, man, I hate that.
Do you think he'll pay for that Twitter Blue now? Because you can edit with Twitter Blue.
Oh, he has the check mark.
Okay, so he has it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though. When you have a certain amount of following, whatever you put out there is going to be out there no matter what, you know. But
you have to change it within the hour, because it was posted 12 hours ago. They were both posted 12 hours ago, according to the article.
Right.
It was a quick change, but
it's still funny. I'm sorry, I find this hilarious. But the real question is, I hope the Jets got a money back guarantee on Aaron Rodgers. Like, imagine that. I mean, they came back and won the game. Like, shout out to them. But like, I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I remember the time like going crazy because the Jets got Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, isn't he like old? Like, is this really a good get? And here we are.
It's like, you know,
Jets suck. They will forever suck. It doesn't matter who they hire.
Would it be like AEW signing Goldberg? Like,
yes. A big name is gonna sell tickets, but man, 2-minute matches is the most I can give you.
It's like Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
Hey, you leave Uncle Shane out of it.
I think he lost his name.
Wait, was he? He wasn't there today, was he?
He wasn't. No.
Damn, that sucks.
Did you know that years ago? I found this out through research. He wanted to buy the UFC and merge it.
Shane has always been a big MMA fan. It doesn't surprise me, and they should have done it. Imagine that, but. Everything happens for a reason.
I was seeing all the conspiracies come out today. Like, oh, did you see how Triple H is on one side and Vince is on the other side with Nick Khan, and Triple H is now not on the board of directors anymore, and maybe there's conflict going on. I'm like, oh gosh, guys.
Do you not think those like pictures? Like I know some people are calling like the Last Supper,
Yeah.
like UFC, but like the power names in that picture is crazy. Like there's a picture of freaking Montez Ford and Bianca, who I think they're great faces representing WWE, but
Yeah.
they have like Dana White on one side, Vince McMahon on the other. It's like the two biggest promoters in the history of history. Like what these two
Yeah.
guys have been able to do. There's a reason why this one company who bought them both would not do business without them being in their board of directors. There's a reason why these people want to keep Dana White booking UFC and they want to keep Vince McMahon helping with the creative of WWE. It's because what these guys were able to accomplish, we wouldn't have this incredible mega merger without the two brains of these two guys. And to see them in the same picture, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I was just like, and then like the first thing I did this morning, because I have WWE stock, was I wake up and go see
I
like
have
the
it
day
too.
that it showed up on there. I'm so geeky. I'm like, oh, let me see what my stock is.
Yeah. Yeah. I will tell you how much you saw what it was today.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I bought it for in 2020 when the pandemic hit. I bought it for $32.
Yeah, I bought mine for like 35 or something like that, and it's crazy like how much it's crazy how much it's made, because I bought like a handful just for fun,
Yeah.
just to be a nerd. And now I'm like, wait a minute, there's actually some real money in there. Like,
did you
it's
see
insane.
the picture of Bianca Belair holding
Yeah.
the TKO championship?
That championship is serious.
I hope that doesn't become a title.
It's so ugly.
It better not.
That video they created, like with like you see the videos, like the editing is so good, going from UFC event to WWE events. Like the level of events that these two companies put on is insane, especially when UFC also takes it to other countries. And like I just cannot believe, because these two companies are like two of my favorite things in the world. I'm a big MMA person, and I think that's why when I watch my wrestling, I like storyline based things, because I'm like, if I want to see two people really F each other up, I'll go watch UFC this weekend. You know what I mean? So I watch wrestling more for the story and characters.
Of course.
But like, it's crazy to see, like, it's just not an image that I thought I would ever see in my lifetime. No. I know people are talking about like, oh my God, Vince is not the owner anymore, this and that. I'm like, no, it's not even that. It's just like this the fact that these two companies are under the same umbrella. It just feels like it shouldn't even be legally allowed to be that powerful.
It's honestly scary, the possibilities now. And it's honestly, I was skeptical of it at first. And then after seeing everything happen today, I was like, you know what? This can potentially be good, because now the whole goal of what they said already, they came out and said that they want UFC fans to be fans of WWE and vice versa. And I think that because UFC is such on a higher level mainstream than wrestling and WWE.
It used to be. I don't think they're there anymore. I mean, they're mainstream, but I think UFC has lost a lot of it. I think WWE could help them. I actually think WWE right now, all time, yes, UFC is more mainstream. But right now, I personally think wrestling is a lot more mainstream than UFC. I think, and I hope they don't do this with WWE, that UFC really screwed up when they signed that Disney Plus and ESPN deal. Yeah. Because you have to pay for ESPN Plus, and other pay-per-views are like $80.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
I used to watch every pay-per-view. Then I started watching the pay-per-views that I care about, where people that I care about were in the car, or those larger-than-life pay-per-views. Yeah. Now, I don't watch, because I just had to scroll through my timeline when there's a big match going on, and I know the results within 2 seconds, and the videos are being posted with the knockout or whatever the finish was. But $80 for a pay-per-view plus the ESPN Plus membership, you're asking way too much from me.
I think that what will happen is that WWE is now going to become what it was always meant to become. And the term sports and entertainment, it's going to grow so big now. You're going to see you're going to go out on Saturday nights and you're going to see bars playing on TVs, WWE content, PLEs, like they do with the UFC. People are going to pay to go to places to watch these events.
I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings with my nephews all the time to catch either WWE pay-per-views or UFC pay-per-views. And then they got rid of the WWEs and just started doing UFC, which I thought sucked, because it's fun. Like, if you want people, like, you're going to have guaranteed at least appetizers, because we all want finger food when we're watching this kind of thing, and drinks are going to be flowing. And I feel like these restaurants and bars are missing so much money for not, like, it's like low key, like one of my bucket list items is to open a sports bar in Puerto Rico that covers like those kind of sports that you don't
Yeah.
see everywhere, that you can go and watch an AEW pay-per-view, a
Yep.
WWE pay-per-view, a UFC pay-per-view, because like there's not a place where you can sit down and watch at all. First thing I thought about is like, I'm gonna get a UFC card on a WrestleMania weekend, because take my freaking money. Like imagine doing something like that. Like that would be insane. The money that they will make in one weekend would be crazy.
I'm going to leave this as my statement for it. And it's not a knock to any other company or any other thing. You like what you like. As of today, I don't see WWE having any other competition.
Ooh, smack. Okay.
I see alternatives. If you don't want the big bright lights, Broadway sports entertainment, there are alternatives. But nothing will ever be compared to WWE again. I don't think. With the power of what they do with the UFC combining with WWE, WWE was already on another platform. Like
it's really funny that you like, yeah. It's funny that you bring it up that way, because I remember when I first like got back into wrestling, I would only watch WWE, and a lot of my friends were like, "Well, why did you?" And I'm glad that I opened, my horizons, but
yeah.
I love the production value. I love a show that looks like it's well put together. And
Yeah.
back then, this is before AEW. Like we're talking about when All In, like the first All In happened. Like the alternatives were just, the difference was just so ridiculous that you were like, I'm not gonna watch the show that looks like I could put it in my backyard. Like there's no production value. Like WWE makes these shows and they're so beautifully done. And I started watching, and I think like when I look back at the Wembley show, I think the Wembley show looked good, but I still think that it felt. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's because they didn't. I'm very turned off by the way they didn't capitalize on that, but they flex on it all the time. Like we flex on. Oh my God, we sold 81,000 tickets. We sold. Which, by the way, did you catch that Xavier Woods said to Drew McIntyre last night? Like Kofi won the belt in front of 82,000 people, and I was like, he said that figure for a reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's just something still missing or lacking. And this is not just character development, it's just production value. There's just something that doesn't feel as big as what WWE does. And I think that right now, I think we're going to see a new level for WWE when you didn't even think it was possible. Like that WrestleMania in LA, like the stadium was beautiful. The stage was beautiful. And you just like stand there and you look around and you're like, this is it. Like if I'm a wrestler, I'm not, but if I'm a wrestler, I'm looking around at that, that's what I would want to be. Because they just looked insane.
I was reading something that they're going to potentially, I don't know if it's true or not, but potentially start running shows on weekends, UFC events, and WWE events. Let me tell you something. If there is an event in Las Vegas, right, there's a huge UFC fight, and the next day or the day before, however they do it, is a WWE event.
Please do it the next day. Please do it.
It would have to be the next day because it would both be at night.
SummerSlam 2021, there was a big boxing event in Las Vegas at the same time as SummerSlam. It was.
You can't have it on the same day.
It was.
Then it becomes competition.
Yeah, and it was a mess. It was a mess in the Strip. It was
but a weekend.
Like yeah, do it the next day. It will be incredible. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. A UFC card WrestleMania weekend will be crazy.
The money, the eyes on the product. I mean, you are going to get. I know most of my friends, if not all would be down to go to a bar or a restaurant to watch a UFC event. They would love to come over if I said I'm hosting a UFC event. If I said WWE or a wrestling thing, they're not too keen on the idea.
Depending on what you're cooking, what you're serving, then they'll come. Yeah.
There's a select few that would come. But if I said if it was UFC, everyone and their mother would come. And that just shows the power of the UFC, but how mainstream it is. And to side by side now put that with WWE with already the greatness that they have. I can't even. It's very exciting. It's very exciting to be able to say, you know what, there is a bright future ahead. And as pro wrestling fans, we get to now feel like the other sports where you're proud to be a wrestling fan. You're proud to wear your Roman Reigns shirt because people will know on the streets.
Right.
They'll know, oh, that's WWE. And that to me is the coolest thing.
Baby Ice in the chat is saying if you're cooking fajitas, he's coming, but you gotta watch out for the refills because he likes to steal them.
Did you see the one about downvoting the stream?
No, I didn't. Please leave a thumbs up while we're talking about it, and make sure to like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. Not only are we the best thing on this channel every Tuesday here at 3 p.m. live, but this channel will give you content, sports, comic books, gaming, video games, like everything you can think of. They're talking about it here on Know Your News, and I'm really happy to be a part of it for a year now.
For a year, it's crazy. It's crazy. But let's jump on to our last topic here. Before we say bye.
It's gotta be me. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about NSYNC. I'm already geeking out.
NSYNC reunion at the VMAs. All the members are there right now. They're 25, 35 minutes away from me. They're not performing. They're announcing they're going to be on stage together announcing an award.
That's stupid. If they don't perform, I'm not watching.
But I did see that there is some sort of they're making a song for a movie or something like that. Did you see that?
No.
The NSYNC they're making a song for like a movie. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, but it says NSYNC diehards are convinced the reunion is afoot after spotting a few members in the Big Apple. Justin Timberlake, Joey Fatone, and Lance Bass were all in New York City over the last 2 days at the U.S. Open. Different things around the city.
I'm a huge NSYNC girl. So, and I was like, so I spent Sunday with my mom, and we were talking about how I used to have my walls covered with NSYNC posters from like everything. And then the door was Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears because I still like them.
Yeah.
You will laugh at this because then I found Eminem. And my mom is like, that's what she changed. Like my mom is like, she found the devil. Sorry, mom, I found hip hop. Yeah. So then it was like NSYNC, other pop, and then hip hop, right? So it was so funny because then she was like, and then she found that she called him like that foul-mouthed rapper. I'm like, mom, leave him alone. Like I love Eminem, but NSYNC was my shit. And then here in Puerto Rico growing up, there was more Backstreet Boys girls than there was NSYNC. Like I remember it was good for me because we would trade posters for like the Tiger Beats magazines and all that. And like if somebody liked NSYNC, I would get all of the posters. But this is the reason why I worked at Sam Goody. Like my first job was at a music store, like, and it was like a American music store. So I would get the discount and we would get to listen to the songs earlier because you remember Sam Goody was very mainstream. So we would get like the albums a week in advance to play them on the.
I used to buy my wrestling DVDs there.
Oh my God, I love my first job. I had the coolest, and I transferred when I moved to the States. I transferred with Sam Goody, so it was amazing. I came to the States having a job already, because obviously it was an American company. But I'll never forget that because it's like, who the hell? Like, I took my high school fun job because I started working when I was 16. This workaholic attitude has been a forever thing for me, and it was my Christmas gig to buy gifts, and then from there I ended up getting transferred to Indiana, and then in Indiana I went all the way to store manager. I was training for district manager, and that's when they shut them down. So like I might have made a career out of it, and you would have never known. But like when they hired me, I sold so many memberships, then they let me go. And the district manager, I was 16 at the time, the district manager was like, "Why will you let her go?" So they ended up bringing. Hold on. Sorry, my microphone is deciding to act. But the whole point is that I got that job just because of NSYNC. Like I loved NSYNC. I like Jay-Z's solo album. I think not enough people talk about it. Like Jay-Z had a really good solo album, and people talk about Justin Timberlake's career because it became so big. But now that you're telling me they're not performing, I'm a little bit sad about it. But I also think that in a marketing perspective, if they want to do a reunion tour now that JT doesn't seem to be that busy, it's genius to keep people waiting because we're all waiting for it. If NSYNC was to release, like, we're going on tour tomorrow on a reunion, it will sell out every single show. I know it.
I have not liked anything from Justin Timberlake
since Future Sex Love Sounds.
No, I liked the 2-part albums he did in 2013 with with Mirror and all those
I
songs
didn't like
that he
that
came out with?
one. I actually, the last one was it Man in the Woods was the last one that a
That was
lot
the
of
last
people
one.
didn't have. I have a couple of favorites from Man in the Woods, but
Didn't like that album. The tour was
oh my
horrible.
god, Filthy so good. I like from that album. I like Filthy. There's another one. There's a couple of songs from that album that I like, but I feel like he peaked. Okay, the 2020. That's a good album. You're right.
That was
I
the
see
last
which
one
one
for
you're
me.
talking
Yeah,
about.
2020
But
Experience.
Justify was great, but it still
Yes.
felt very Justin trying to come off of NSYNC. The songs are very like if you would have put the guys in the background vocals, it would have sounded like an NSYNC album. There's
Yeah.
a couple that are a little more mature, but like
Crimea River and all those.
yeah, like Senorita, like I Like
Yeah.
You. That all to me sounded very that time. For me, like Future Sex Love Sounds, like he just broke out of his shell.
Yeah,
But like it was
that was it.
insane, that album. Like Sexy Back. There was no
Yeah.
you couldn't go anywhere without
That was my
hearing
song
Sexy
for like a
Back.
year and a half. I couldn't
Yo.
get over that song.
Suit and Tie though from the
Suit and Tie.
2020. Oh, that song is it. You know, like everybody that watches my show know I have a thing for guys in suits. Like it's sexy, especially when they wrestle in suits. Anyways, we're going off topic here, but like Imperium last night, that segment was 10 out of 10 for me. Anyways, yeah,
so
but
basically what you're saying is that the issue that fans had back in the day of do I like NSYNC or do I like the Backstreet Boys is basically what we have today with do I like WWE, do I like AEW?
Yes.
And the fans just hated each other.
What was your favorite NSYNC song?
Dirty Pop.
Oh, I love that song. It doesn't get talked about enough. And the whole album, actually. Celebrity has banger after banger, and people talk about No Strings Attached is a classic. Do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like you can't go wrong with
Bye,
No
Bye,
Strings
Bye,
Attached.
and,
But Celebrity and the Girlfriend remix with Nelly, I love that song. It is the sweetest freaking thing. But I like It Makes Me Ill. I love that song. Every time I hear it, I like bump it and start singing fast and all that. The whole point is just do the reunion tour. Just give us what we want and sing, please. I'm begging you, like Batista. Give me what I want. Just go on tour. Like I would drag Joey to that concert with me because I would travel to see it and I would drag you to it. Like the memories would just be. I would be one of those. It will probably hit me how old I am when I'm just sitting there crying, singing every single song off the top of my lungs because I know them all. Like it's crazy.
I love this comment, Baby Ice. Suit and tie gets my hips slowly moving. Slowly.
I'll be on my suit and tie. Oh my god! But like a lot of people like just villainizes him for like stepping out. Like we didn't know that he was gonna be the breakout star of NSYNC.
He's the Harry Styles of his generation.
But like, yeah, he did what he did. But at the same time, man, did he give us some bangers as a solo? And he had a great acting career too. There's a couple of Justin Timberlake movies that I really like. But I feel like people slept on Jay-Z Solo's album, and there's like so many good songs in that album. Jay-Z, now, okay, I got something I gotta tell you. The other day I was reflecting very hard on this, and I was thinking, this is serious. I was thinking, if NSYNC came out today, I think I would like Jay-Z more than Justin. But back in my teenage years, I like Justin more than Jay-Z. That goes to show you.
Or his music, like
both. I thought Justin was cuter and I liked his voice. He has that little more like where Jay-Z was the one hitting the real notes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think that's crazy. Like a lot of times people say, oh, you never changed this and that. I'm like, no, because the more that I reflect on it, if NSYNC came out now, I think I will find myself at this age. I would like Jay-Z more than Justin. But
I don't know how they would what kind of music would they make today? Because I'm
just saying, like, if I was into that kind of music, like, I'm saying, like, hypothetically, like, if they came out today and that's the music that's hit, it's the same group, right? It's the same group. It's just today, or I'm more grown up than I was back then. I think I would like Jay-Z more. I think Jay-Z is for the grown and sexy, and Justin Timberlake is for the young and free.
Yeah. I don't know.
My favorite, I think Jay-Z, and if you haven't checked it out and you have Spotify, Apple Music, go check it out. That album has some bangers. Jay-Z
I don't think I ever listened to that album. I listened to
the single,
the big song that came off of it. I don't even remember that.
It's so good. blowing me up with her love. Oh
Joey
God, I'm such
Fatone
a
and Lance
geek.
Bass never did anything, right?
Didn't Lance Bass go to the moon or something? No, he really did try. Don't laugh.
That was Lance Armstrong.
No, Lance Bass was trying to go to the moon. He had like a whole look it up.
Wow.
Fall down the rabbit hole. Lance Bass tried to go to the moon. It was funny. It was the funniest thing ever.
Joey
There was
Fatone
like
did movies.
people were wearing t-shirts and everything about it. Let me look it up. Lance Bass moon. Hold on.
To the moon.
Lance Bass was kicked off a Russian space flight. Okay, hold on. Lance Bass once tried to go his space. Like,
all right, so he's a
like
lunatic.
I'm dead serious. I know you're laughing at me, but I'm dead serious. Lance Bass really did try to go to the moon. It was a whole thing.
You know how you know in your
I
chat,
love the new kids on the block, baby eyes. Don't even get me started with them.
I may screw you over the next couple of hours or so because I apologize because typically in your chats, and I know everybody here is going to be in your chat later, and the running joke for I don't know how long now is Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
And now, from what I see of it, it's going to be Lance Bass. Like you're going to see Lance Bass tried to buy the Brady Bunch house. Lance Bass tried to go to the moon. You're going to see like Lance Bass tried, and it's going to be like nonsense. Like as real Yuta. That's going to be the new running joke.
Yep. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
He was like, no, Lance wasn't my least favorite. Joey was my least favorite NSYNC.
Hey.
You know who I loved? That should have told my mom that I was just going to end up liking Bad Boys because from Backstreet Boys, I had the biggest crush on AJ. And my mom hated it. She's like, there's this, like, my mom will see posters of Backstreet Boys and she'll be like, there's all these nice looking guys and you like the one with all the tattoos and all that. And I'm like, yeah.
You know what's funny? They're like still making music.
AJ had the best voice. I don't care. Maybe close to Brian. Brian had a good voice. Nick Carter always looked like he had to poop. Like, I don't understand why people like Nick Carter. But AJ, no, he didn't. AJ and Brian have better voices than Nick. Also, are we like... I saw a TikTok and it was like, why did we let the Backstreet Boys get away with this one guy asking his other guy friends if he's sexual? And they all say, yeah! And I've never been able to listen to that song the same way again.
You know, I was helping my parents clean out their garage this past weekend, and I found a stack of my old CDs.
Yeah.
And I found the Black and Blue album.
Oh my God! Let me tell you the story about the call. That's my favorite song in that album, The Call. Man, you're getting out a geeky side of me that nobody knows. I don't talk about this.
No, I love it because I grew up with that too. So
I love The Call. They came to Puerto Rico in concert. Me and my girlfriends got front row tickets. Not everybody would come to Puerto Rico, and we always listen to English music. I told you I owe movies and music that I grew up listening to, learning a different language because I'm self-taught. So, like, for me, it's a really big deal. Like, I talk about Eminem teaching me how to freaking curse, or Backstreet Boys and NSYNC teaching me how to, like, sweet talk someone, because that's really how I learned. It was just translating these lyrics because I wanted to know what the hell they were saying, right?
Of course.
And I'll never forget, like, we would go to every concert, like, that was, like, from an American artist that would come here that maybe not a lot of people knew. But man, the Backstreet Boys came here when they did that Black and Blue album tour, and that was like one of the most fun concerts that I've ever attended. Like, I've been to a lot of concerts in my life, and that's still on my top 5.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
I never went to a Backstreet Boys or NSYNC concert.
I did NSYNC. I did Britney. I feel bad because I saw Britney during her Las Vegas residency. And like, when you hear like it was in a weird period of her time, you kind of feel bad. But Britney never came to Puerto Rico. And Britney is like one of my favorites of all time. So when I got the opportunity to see her as a grown-up, I'm going to take it. And she was killing it. She was killing it in Vegas.
Yeah. Are you going to be watching NXT tonight? Or are you going to be watching the VMAs?
I'm going to be watching NXT. I have to cover it with Wrestling Inc. It's my job. I'm a busy girl on Tuesdays. But also, I am very curious about how this Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch match is going to be booked. So, I mean, I would have probably switched the channel if they would have performed. But now that you're telling me, they might have them surprise perform. You never know. The VMAs will do some random crap like that. But, oh my God, an emergency alert. Somebody disappeared. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but...
Hopefully,
Oh my God, my watch is going off. My other phone is going off. Like, this needs to be stopped. Anyway, somebody disappeared.
Anything this week you watched? Anything new?
No. I mean, just my usual, my normal reality shows that I keep up with. The Challenge, Big Brother. I didn't watch any new movies. I did see that Barbie is finally available in digital, so maybe I'll finally see it since I never actually went to see it. Yeah. I did watch a couple of reviews for The Nun 2, and just as I suspected, it seems like it's trash, like the first one. Yeah. What about you?
I watched the show. I think I told you in your chat. I've been watching the show Bloodline on Netflix.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
It's about a family. They live in the Florida Keys, and the family owns like a hotel. And there's turmoil in the family, and the kids basically are all out to get each other.
Yeah.
It's basically what we see on SmackDown every week.
Right. The Roman Reigns needs to sue them, basically.
Who is the tribal chief? Who is the rightful, like, future king tribal chief? And it's such a great show. It's such a great show.
I think the Challenge this year, and I know you're not a big reality TV person, but when they do the Challenge USA, it airs on Paramount and CBS. Yeah. So it's not just the MTV personalities. They bring people from Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, and then the Challenge. So it's like the Olympics of reality competition TV all competing, right? And I've been very happy. Shout out to Baby Isis, Banana, and Tori for the win, because it's finally a season where, like, usually you watch these challenge shows and it's always like the veterans, like the people that we know unite and then they eliminate all of these newbies. But in this particular show, the newbies, like the Survivor people, have more numbers than like the veterans. So it has actually been an interesting back and forth. I will say, Big Brothers, this week it feels better for a period of time. You get the big alliance that gets together, so the eliminations become so predictable because you have too many people working together. Where this week one of the underdogs won, so you see it's gonna shake up the house. But I haven't gotten into this season of Big Brother as much as I anticipated as I would. But the Challenge, for me, it has delivered. This is for the people that are like big reality TV heads like me. The MTV Challenge cast was revealed. Cara Maria making her big return. I'm super excited for that. I do love her, and I'm super excited for the new season of Survivor. I haven't been a big fan. Like, Survivor peaked for me at Survivor 40 because they brought back all of the winners. It hadn't competed. It's like bringing all of the ghosts of wrestling and putting them in a Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? So when you go from that, where the gameplay is being played so heightened, to like a normal season with newbies, I have had the harder time getting into it. I liked it last year because a Puerto Rican won. So, you know, shout out to, but then I was salty because I want to play Survivor. I was like, damn it, he took my spot. I wanted to be the first Puerto Rican to win it. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm a big reality TV junkie, but more competition. Like, I'm really, really getting over like the love shows, like The Bachelor. I stopped watching it years ago. Like, there's so many that I don't really care about. But competition reality TV, I'm your girl.
I love it, just like I love you. Lisa, happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year, Joey. It's been incredible, and I hope we keep going.
Absolutely.
Now I gotta pitch you an idea for a show on my channel.
I like it. Again, happy 1 year. Thanks for everybody making the show what it is today. You know, boosting us up, being in the chat, being engaged, and just being a part of the show, really giving us a lot of great feedback and whatnot. None of this really happens without you guys being here. We'd just be talking to ourselves, you know?
We could probably get away with that, though.
Yeah, we do that. But, you know, it's nice having everybody here. But I want to thank everybody for being here and being a part of the show. The unannounced 1 year anniversary show. But Isa, cheers to another year. Or many more years, should I say. Oh, I think she's muted. Can't hear you.
I think it's time for new cat ear. And this is heartbreaking when the mic that you have an emotional connection to gives up on you. Oh, anyways, cheers.
Cheers to another year, and we'll see you guys next week.